That's new. Zoom, thank you. Okay, this meeting is being recorded. Good evening. It's nice to see you, and I hope you're all well. We are in our third week. Tonight we're looking again at spirit. So as I've done for the last two awakening calls, I'm just going to see how much you retained from the one or two spirit sessions that we've done. And Twinkle's here to help. So the body day has a mantra. What was the mantra for body? Or what was the message for body, the body day? End of a long weekend, everybody a little bit, I just kind of came here to sit and watch and absorb. I didn't think I was going to have to think. Come on, wake you. Okay, should we do a bit of breathing? Get you all a little bit more here. All right, sit up straight. Okay, so just sit comfortably, spine nice and tall. When you feel ready, close your eyes. Do some long deep breaths. Good. Let your awareness sink down first into your pelvis. Just feel everything inside the pelvic bowl, the first three chakras, and all of the organs associated with them. So this is about letting go, elimination. It's about creativity and reproduction. And it's about the sense of self. Just allow your awareness to reside in the pelvic bowl and feel what the energy is like there for you right now. And then bringing your awareness up above the navel point to the solar plexus, that space in the upper abdomen where we tend to hold a lot of tension and emotion. Just let it move softly with the breath and observe what is there. And then coming up into your heart, your beautiful heart. What is there? And into your throat. And up behind your brow, your third eye, right in the center of your head. See if you can allow your awareness to drop back behind your eyes, behind the seeing, to the inner eye. And tonight is really about coming into the more subtle energies of intuition and spirit. So I want us to connect with that with a little bit of breath and movement. So you need to have a little bit of space around you here. And what we're going to do is to take the right arm, and the hand is going to scoop forwards across in front of the body, and then up and around. Okay? Scooping from back, across in front of the knee, in front of the body, up and around. The other way, Lynn. Other way, Lynn. From back to front. It's okay, this is going to take a few moments. Other way, Lynn. So start at your right knee, your hand in front of your right knee, and go across the left in front of your body. Cross the left in front of your body, then up and over and back and down. And in front of the knee, across, up, over, back and down. And your hand is gathering energy as it comes down and forwards and up, and then just turn the palm downwards as you go down. Okay? That's it. So you just continue with that arm making that movement. Okay? And the other arm is going to do the same movement to coordinate. So exactly the same movement. So you start at the knee, you come across, you go up and back and down. Not together, they alternate. As the right arm is going down, the left arm is coming up. That's it. So make sure you go across the body, and then you can start to bring your shoulders in a little bit. It's a very soft movement, very gentle, feminine movement. And when you feel you've got it, I want you to close your eyes. It looks good. I want you to close your eyes and feel the energy of the space around you. And just let your breath flow. Maybe it finds its own rhythm, maybe it coordinates slightly with the movement. Just let it be what it needs to be for you. Just breathe and move. And develop your subtle sensitivity here to just feel. Feel into the space, feel into your energy. Everything is connected. We are all connected. Perhaps you become aware of the kapha energy to the evening as we move into the final part of the day. Perhaps you sense the energy within your personal space that you've created from whatever you've been doing today. And try to be this rather than think this. Try really just to become the flow. What we're doing is creating the sign of infinity with our arms. Energy is infinite. We are energy. We are spirit. And start to have a sense that maybe because you're connected with energy, you can move energy. You can influence the energy of the space around you and within you. As spirit, you are co-creator in all that exists. You're not a passive bystander, you're not a victim, you're co-creator. And where does that co-creation come from? It comes from our connection with spirit, through our intention and our intuition. Intention is the outgoing energy, intuition, the incoming energy. So feel this flow, a constant flow of information, communication, energy, wisdom. And become conscious of the power that you have as co-creator in your environment, in your circumstances, in your day-to-day reality, in your future. You shape and create your life. You shift and control your energy, not just within, but without. Continuing to move the energy, remaining connected to the power of intention and intuition. Return once more your awareness to your pelvic bowl and feel the energy again at your first chakra. Your ability to release, to let go. At your second chakra, your ability to create, co-create, reproduce. And at your third chakra, your sense of self, I am. Your strength, your confidence, your clarity. And at your heart, your ability to give and receive compassion and love. Self-love first, and then love for others. Sense the energy at your throat, communicating from your truth without fear. At your third eye, your ability to see and to know and to trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your vision. Trust in your path. And the seventh chakra, your connection with the divine, with God, with spirit, your higher self. Just taking a few more moments in silence to sense on the subtlest level possible the energy within and around you. Very gently bringing this symbol of infinity smaller and smaller into the center above your heart, in front of your heart. And then just pause with your hands 5 to 10 centimeters apart from each other, the palms facing, fingers pointing up. Just sense the energy that flows from your heart center between your hands. And just take your time when you're ready, eyes directed away from the screen. Open them slowly. And release your hands, or you can leave them there if they're still sensing the energy. Very slowly come back. So, how did you find that? Who had a sense of really getting a subtle awareness of energy and flow and feeling something that can't necessarily be seen? Sophia? Yeah, you want to share? Lynn? Sophia?
So I mainly felt the blockages of energy flowing. So
Okay.
this made me realize where they stuck.
Okay. And where do you want to share where you feel them?
On the one side, on the second chakra,
Mm-hmm.
from down, and the second one in the throat.
Okay. Yeah. So it's interesting that these two chakras are connected. So they're both about creation. You know, when in the Bible it says, my Bible knowledge is not that good, but and in the beginning God created, and He created the Word. Yeah. So the Word is the sound. The sound vibration is the first element of creation. So our ability to communicate and create sound is the first manifestation of the second chakra, is the more subtle manifestation of what happens in the second chakra. So it's not surprising that there's a connection between those two. Yeah. We'll come back to that, but thank you for sharing your awareness. Lynn?
There's some kind of awareness of the energy around myself that I didn't perceive or pick up on before the exercise. It gave me this sensation of the energy around myself. And it was like you said, like harvesting it or gathering it. And in the end, I could like feel energy, hands. Yeah, of that.
Yeah. How do you think becoming aware of energy in this way can help us? Or could help you? How might you be able to use that?
Well, it's good to have the sensation that it's there. If you feel very tired, like to feel energy, it's comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can a little bit kind of tap into that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think also the the idea of the unmanifest. So whether it's sound vibration, which we can't see, or even beyond that, is that we are connected to everything that is not yet. So, when we do this, we can feel that there is an energy, there's a power. And within that, if we're in that relationship of co-creation, we can begin to sow seeds through our intention to create change. So, as we looked at in body, physical dis-ease starts in the subtle realm. It starts in this space of energy and thoughts and vibration. So becoming more aware of energy and the power of our intention has the ability, just as stress creates dis-ease, when we work on generating positive energy, we work towards healing. Yeah. Capucine, Francis, did you want to share anything? You felt something? Francis, yeah, go on then, if you're ready.
Yes, I could feel the energy in my hands, and it was very visible, and reminds me my childhood when I was maybe dancing flamenco. I was learning, but then when I was getting more closer and closer here into the chakra of the heart, I felt so much power here in this part. Like I didn't want it to release the energy when you say, okay, you could. I didn't want it. I wanted to hold that here in front of my heart.
Mhm. And so, how can you take that awareness into your life? How can that serve you?
To bring me, I don't know, positive, more positive maybe.
Yeah,
Things.
yeah. I mean, I think we're often, exhausted or stressed or overwhelmed, doing too much. And when we connect with this energy and we recognize, there is this infinite flow, but very often we are working against the energy, working against the natural energy, or we're blocking it. And so to take some time to just connect into that feeling and let it, not burn ourselves, because you're already pitta. So it's not to, okay, I can do even more now. But to recognize there is this deep, deep wellspring of energy, a resource, a source which is there for us. And we, through connecting to spirit through our heart, we can receive so much more when we're coming into this space of being and meditation rather than running around and doing. Yeah. And Capucine.
I really couldn't really hear you because I had to disconnect this so I can do the energy thing. So I didn't notice any difference with the chakras, but I guess it was because I wasn't really paying attention to that. Because what I felt was it was kind of hard for me to do this the same movement all over again. Like at some point I was like, I'm tired. Like I felt like here,
Okay.
and pain in my shoulders.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end I felt the energy, like my hands tingling.
Okay. It might be worth you going back to the recording and trying to do this then in a way that you can actually participate fully. And yes, I also felt it's like there were moments like, oh yes, I can feel my shoulders are getting a little bit tired. That's I mean, the physical sensation is there definitely, but we have a choice of how we respond. This is sort of one of the powerful aspects of Kundalini yoga, is that we are put in a situation which gives us the opportunity to reflect on our reactions and our response to something. So can we be in a little bit of physical discomfort or feel a little bit tired, but focus on, okay, I'm doing this and I'm feeling energy? You lost a little bit of the explanation. So I would suggest you do it again, where you can listen and see if it has more of an impact and can take you beyond any discomfort. Yeah. Okay. So the body is about Ong Namo. I bow to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Gurudev Namo. I bow to the divine teacher within me. The body contains the wisdom, and the body is the microcosm of the universe. Yeah, so there is wisdom all around us and within us. There is no separation. And so the body lesson is to remind us to connect in to that wisdom, to feel it, to listen to the body when it's tired, to rest, when it's hungry, to eat, when it's not hungry, to not eat, just as important. When our eyes are burning, to rest them. Whatever it is, if we have an ache, maybe give ourselves a massage. To really listen to the body and to honor its wisdom. Then, last week was the mind. Yeah, the 3 functional minds: negative, positive, neutral. And the mantra then for the neutral mind, Waheguru. Just this mantra which cuts the thought process and enables us to just come into the present moment again and again and again. So that we stop following the stories, we stop following the drama, we stop getting involved in things which are not just here and now, the present moment, the breath, the beauty of the sky in the evening, listening to the birds, whatever it might be. And in spirit, we have a mantra. I don't know if anybody can remember it from the previous times, or anyone want to have a go, just have a guess.
I think it was Satnam.
Nam, yes.
Yay! Satnam! Yes, well done. Yeah. And what does it mean? Bonus points.
Trust to yourself.
Up. Francis, you go first.
Trust to yourself, your intuition.
Trust yourself. Sophia, what did you say?
I am.
I am. Yes. And Lynn, what were you going to say? Were you going to say something?
I am truth.
I am truth. Capucine, were you going to say, or yeah? Okay, you agree. Okay, yeah. So Sat, truth. Nam, identity. I am truth. And as Sophia said, just I am. Because if we don't qualify it with anything, we expand into the beingness. Okay? I am short. Who cares? I'm spirit. I'm not short in infinity. Yeah? I'm blonde. I'm a woman. These are all labels. And these are defining and limiting, and they're not absolute truth. Okay? I'm happy today. Maybe tomorrow I'll be crying my eyes out. Yeah? So I am, or I am truth. And it's important that we qualify truth with absolute truth. Yeah? Not objective truth or subjective truth. So when we are working with spirit, we're working with this mantra, which is a Bij mantra, B-I-J, Bij mantra, which is, can anyone remember how we translate Bij? Say it again. Seed. Yes, seed. It's a seed mantra. Okay, so the seed of the oak tree, we put it in the right soil, in the right climate, it already contains the blueprint for the entire oak tree, which could grow to 100 meters tall, live for 800 years, and produce millions of seeds, acorns. There we see infinity, just within that seed, that it has the potential for the blueprint for the one tree, but also then every single acorn that tree will produce, and each acorn has the blueprint for its tree and the acorns, and poof, mind exploded. Yeah? So this is the essence of Satnam. This is the essence of us as spirit. Yeah? As much as we have shit days and shit times in our lives, and I know that some of us are going through some pretty heavy shit right now, myself included, it's a phase. Yeah? And to connect into the fact that, okay, I'm around for infinity, 1 week, 1 month, it's a blink of an eye really in the big picture. And just that perspective might help us to be less weighed down by what we are struggling with at the time, to maybe take things less seriously if we feel that we're needing to fix too much or carry too much responsibility. Maybe we can throw stuff off and not feel so heavy about the load that we're carrying. And when we look through the Hatha Yoga model at the 5 koshas, the 5 layers, the 5 sheaths, which we've been looking at, we have the 2 most subtle sheaths, which are Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is the intuitive body, and Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss body, which is the soul itself. So in my understanding and my sort of the way that I experience it is the intuitive body is the voice of the bliss body. Yeah, the bliss body is really the one that has the experience, and the intuitive body is our access to that. So I just want you to take a few moments now to go back to childhood. Somebody mentioned Francis mentioned childhood here already. And just think about some moments. It may just have been like, literally a moment. Or it may be, that childhood memory where we have those endless summer days and, life is just easy and fun. I just want you to think of some moments when you felt truly connected. Like, what were you doing? Who were you with? Where were you? And how did you feel? Okay, what were you doing? Who were you with? Where were you? And what did you feel? Just take a few moments. You can just close your eyes if you like, and just allow yourself to wander back through the emotional body in a way, just because that we can access in a moment. We don't have to travel through time. It's still with us. And just see if you can access that child feeling. For many of you, because of what connects us, it may well have something to do with water, but needn't necessarily. And when you think you've found, Francis has found something, I can tell. When you think you've found something, then just open your eyes again, and we're just going to have a little share. Francis, you want to go first?
What I saw it, or what?
I don't know. You got such a great smile.
I got several moments in my childhood that tried to find happy moments, and then suddenly I said, okay, let's connect with the nature. So we went to my mom and my dad take us usually for December to close to the Amazon. So like 8 hours driving, and then finally we're there, we have to do camping, etc. One of my uncles, had a really nice house there. Anyway, all of the animals, at night they appear. So you have to go with the lamb, etc. And then I remember my brother was the smaller one than me, that now he lives in Brazil. There was a snake going into the tree, but because he was small and we like animals, he thought he could take it. So he pulled out the tail of the snake, trying to get the snake out. And I was just shouting because I was scared about it. I'm so scared about worms, snake, everything that is moving. I hate that. Anyway, I was laughing. My uncle came and got the snake. Anyway, that was why I was laughing. And then
Okay. Yeah, so being in nature and yeah, that childish spontaneity which you didn't have but you recognized in your brother. Ah, it's nice. I want to play with that. Yeah. Sophia, do you remember anything?
So for me, it was on the way to the kindergarten, and I sat behind my mother on a bike. We drove, and there was a lot of wind, but that didn't keep me from whistling all the way. And I recently learned a little bit to whistle, so I whistled all the way, and it was so fun, and that's one of my earliest
Memories.
memories. And it felt so free and so not touchable or not
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Capucine?
So me, I am about 5 or 6 years old. I'm in Spain, next to Barcelona, and I am alone on the beach because we used to go camping by the beach with my whole family, and I used to wake up before everybody and just walk to the beach all by myself at 5 or 6 years old. Those are other times.
Yeah.
And I was just there all by myself early morning making sand balls, seated by the beach and like having the water sometimes licking my feet, and I was making entire fairy tales in my mind, like making up for stories as I was doing those sand balls, and then put it there and then doing another one and just making up those stories sometimes out loud. And I didn't care because I was French. Nobody could understand me anyway. And I was all alone in my mind. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Lynn?
Yeah, I was also maybe 5, 6 years old, something like that. It was before school. And I had taken out all the pots and pans from the cupboard of my mom's kitchen, and I was playing them. I had a concert for her. I was like already showered, my hair was still wet, and I was in my pajamas, and I was playing the drums for like the big concert.
Was it appreciated?
Yeah, it was. It was even encouraged, as I remember, as far as I remember.
Parents, good. Yeah. Um, there's so many things that spring to mind, but there's one that makes me laugh. I mean, you all know that I speak a few languages, and that's sort of always been something I love doing. And I remember one morning, I must have been maybe 4, and it was again early morning. I came downstairs. I'd learned that not to wake my parents up, so I came down and I was in the playroom, and I found I think it was the Mr. Men books, I don't even remember, but just silly child books. And I'm standing there reading them as if I'm speaking a foreign language. And of course, at that stage, I couldn't speak any foreign language, so I was just like, and being the teacher, and I think I maybe was teaching my teddies or something, I can't remember. And for me, the interesting thing about this was I was so in that carefree spontaneity and just really loving language, loving sound, loving play. And then I didn't realize, but one of my parents had come in and was looking at me. And then I had possibly one of my first moments of feeling self-conscious, like coming out of that moment again, just going, oh, I feel really embarrassed, So like that contrast, I can really remember. And, that's the shame. And that tends to be how we spend a lot of our adult lives, is in that self-conscious, what are people going to think of me? Are they going to think I'm crazy? And we lose this joyful spontaneity that we have as children, which is really the expression of spirit. Really the expression of who we are. And I showed Capucine a ring that a teacher gave me at the beginning of 2011, which was the year that I did my 104-meter dive, and it's like got a mosaic around it, and these got of the ocean waves and these golden dolphins like jumping around the ring. And it was my yoga teacher, she gave it to me, having seen me in a moving meditation where I was totally in the ocean. She said, "Oh, I think you're a dolphin, and I think this ring actually belongs to you." And she gave it to me. And that ring, during that year of going deeper and deeper and deeper towards my 104, was like, it was really like my touchstone. Every time that I was doing a deeper dive, and particularly when I was going beyond 96, which had been my deepest dive till that date, it was really like, this is my spirit, this is my essence. I'm a dolphin, and I am just going, for me, the words that came through was, I'm just going out to express the fullness of my nature, or to explore the fullness of my nature. Because every time we do something that we haven't done before, we are exploring an aspect of ourselves which hasn't been lived yet, which deserves to be lived through spirit. So for me, and this is the reason why I could do those dives, was because they were an expression of spirit, and they were in that essence of meditative connection and play, really a lot about play. So what I want to ask you now is, can you remember a more recent time, let's say in the last 5 years, where you've had a moment of intuition guiding you somewhere, and you followed it, and what happened? And you had a moment of intuition and you didn't follow it, and what happened? Take a few moments to think. Again, you can go into meditation. But that, intuition is the voice of the soul. It's that deep knowing. It's not excitement. It's not drama. It's definitely not fear. It's just this calm, oh, right. It's truth. It's truth, without any kind of embellishment. So try to think of 2 moments where you have felt that kind of knowing in yourself, when you followed it and when you haven't, and what the results were. Okay, let's start with Capucine this time.
So moment I knew I should have done something and I didn't. This entire shit show with a man. Like I knew, my body knew, and I went anyway. I knew something was off. I just didn't understood what. So I went anyway. I didn't follow the intuition. And that obviously didn't end in a good way.
Sorry, I didn't catch. What do you say, Capuchin? You didn't follow the intuition for? I didn't catch the first sentence.
Which part?
I don't know. It was a dive. I didn't catch.
The what? Sorry, it just cut when you were speaking.
Okay, I didn't understand when you said you did not follow your intuition for what? The first part I didn't.
Shit show.
The shit show.
Translate that.
It's like no, it's just yeah, it was just the words. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, like, I knew that it was wrong and I shouldn't go there, but
The
I
relationship
went.
with a man, Francis.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the time I followed my intuition was in Sataya. So I was in charge of a group of people, and we were at the end of the water session. Let's call this way. And so the dolphins were amazing. So people were a bit tired, and we were just by our boat, so we didn't need our Zodiac man to help us go back to the boat. And so everybody went swimming, and so I felt home. I just stayed a bit, and I allowed myself not to follow the people and just allow myself to just go for it for like 5 more minutes. And I just went into a direction. And eventually I came across with a group of youngsters and mummies and babies, and I felt for actually it was so deep. I felt curiosity coming from the dolphins and attention and blah, blah, blah. But this time was like I've never felt before. Like I felt like I was a dolphin. Like they were just all over me and so present, so like, and I have never lived that again. It was so intense, and I really felt that at some point I was a dolphin like them, and I actually cried into my mask, and it never really happened. I never cry when I'm swimming with the dolphins. I'm just grateful, and it's beautiful. But this was, and yeah, I never do that because I always feel that I owe the people to always be with them and in charge of their well-being and their happiness in the water. So I never let myself think for me. But this time I did, and it was
Cool.
The best encounter.
A couple of questions for you. So taking the first experience of the relationship with a man that you knew you shouldn't get involved with and you did anyway, when you had that feeling of I shouldn't be going here, what was it? What did it feel like, and where did you feel it?
I don't know, I just knew.
Okay.
It like everything was saying no, like it wasn't right.
Okay. So what part of you overrode it then?
The feelings, like the emotions, the ego.
What did you, in the ego, what did the ego need that made you ignore your intuition?
Well, it thinks it's gonna give me something that I need, except I don't really need that. I need something else, but it's trying to help me and to make me do things that are supposed to help me. according to a previous situation.
Yeah.
It might have helped me before, but it definitely didn't help me at that time.
So you were maybe stuck in the little girl, the one who wants attention or to feel loved or to feel, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to recognize these aspects of ourselves which override intuition, because they need to be worked on. They need attention, because unless we give them attention, we're going to make the same mistake again. So try to understand exactly what it was that made you override your intuition, and use the dolphin experience to see what happens when you do follow it, when you do trust it. Yeah? Good, thank you for sharing. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Um,
When I did not follow my intuition, I remember, well, several occasions, but one of them was the day before of my marriage. I was married by the church. And the day before, I remember telling my auntie, I don't want to get married. I said, I don't want to get married. I think this is going to be a mistake. And she said, look, Francis, in life, when we have certainly age, I don't know why, but we have to be married. Then look what she said at the moment. Then if you want, you could get divorced, but you have to get married, because that was her advice. And still I'm fighting with her. I say, how come you told me that?
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember saying that to her. Anyway, then second intuition that related to that, I did not have my child, and I asked for the divorce to him to get divorced because he was cheating on me, and I wanted divorce. And he said, well, look, and then I decided to forgive him, and then look at what happened. I mean, at the end I got separated. So that's the thing. So my intuition was there telling me all the time until finally I think I said no.
Yeah.
And then the good one, the one that I found. Several, but when I decided to leave my comfort zone in Saudi Arabia and come here, everyone was saying, "You're crazy! Don't do it. You're crazy. COVID situation. You're gonna leave your daughter. I mean, good salary in there, big flat, all for me, close to the sea, warm weather, perfect." But
Okay. So, same thing that I asked Capucine. So, with that first experience, why did you override your intuition? What part of you?
when you say part of me, what does it mean, Sarah? Body? I don't know.
So, I mean, we have different sort of aspects of our personalities. So we all have the little girl in there who's maybe a little bit insecure. We might also have a manager. We might have, or a leader. We might have the caretaker or the healer.
Yes.
There are different aspects to us which we can connect with and bring forth to help us understand situations and why we do the things that we do. So what was it in you that listened to your aunt and not your heart?
Because I thought, well, this is a good man, a good coming from, a good family in terms of education, etc. And who is gonna be with me later on? I thought. I always had that problem, always.
Okay.
So I think it's a problem of self-esteem on that, in that area, and maybe some other areas as well. Because I felt like I'm always begging for love to each partner that I have. So I must be the problem, I think.
There's also a cultural aspect there.
Maybe, no? Okay.
Listening to your aunt and everyone has to get married and you know, this is what people do. So there's the personal and the societal or the cultural, I think, which also played a role in that. And we are all susceptible to that also. You know, we make choices because we think that that's what's expected of us, or it's the right thing to do, or it's the respectable thing to do. You know, you married a man because he had a good education. Okay, it's an interesting choice to base spending the rest of your life with somebody on. There's quite a lot of weird guys out there who have good educations. Doesn't mean we have to marry them. You know, so our heart is talking. Yeah. So
well, I know this conversation is recording, but I hope it doesn't go outside of the media.
no, it's only for us.
Okay.
And the group.
Okay.
And to connect with the positive, you know, trusting your intuition to come to London, how can you use that experience maybe to reflect back on why you did what you did, but in a different light, and to not make the same mistake again?
Are you asking me, Sarah?
Yeah.
I have to trust more in myself. Definitely, yes. Trust not only myself, trust in the process. That, you know, this is not going to be forever. I mean, like.
Yeah, beautiful. Good. Who wants to go next, Lynn or Sophia?
I can go next.
Lynn? Yeah, go.
It's a little bit on the same theme, interestingly. So when I followed my intuition, it was one time that was important was when I went to Dahab to train, actually with you, Sarah. That was a big thing. I just knew, like, Lynn, go to Dahab. That was it. And I didn't know more about the training we were going to do. I didn't know the plans. I didn't know who else was going to be there. It was just like, okay, Lynn, go to Dahab. That was it. And what I got from it was just a really, like, much more connection to my healing path, you can say. I got a great experience. I met wonderful friends. I got a new PV. So there was a lot of things, like solidly from the core, good stuff happened. And when I didn't follow my intuition, it was with my ex-boyfriend that I stayed with him, even though I got the sensation that there is something that's not good. It seemed like a very nice and caring and he seemed like a nice and caring person, but I just got some kind of glimpses that maybe that was not what was like deep down, that maybe he was not so nice in the deep down. And I didn't listen to that because I thought I was like making up ideas or something. And in the end, it was like a lot of fighting, a lot of like really unpleasant, uncool situations happened, and he was really being a dick to me, you can say. And I would have spared myself of those moments, of those times, if I had listened to my intuition before it got to that.
Yeah.
And I think in that case, it was not trusting myself that made me stay. And I thought like he was right, he was smarter, he was wiser. That was like kind of my belief that I had projected on the situation. And that was why I stayed there, and I kind of let him Well, yeah, I kind of stayed there because I thought that, like, okay, he's better, he's smarter, he's more normal than I am, and he knows how to do life, kind of. And so I think it's not trusting myself, not seeing myself as worthy or important. And a lot changed actually when I finished that relationship. A lot of stuff changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started actually following my intuition. That was like a big kind of, wake up call, like a big lesson, kind of.
Yeah, good. Yeah. And then you trusted your intuition and you came to Dahab.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Great. Okay, Sophia.
So I thought a long time about the situation. I didn't follow my intuition, and I found a lot of small ones. So it's nearly on a weekly basis that I feel that I have to take time to really be for my own coming down, or doing some breath work, or playing the guitar. Have some hours and that I'm used for myself. So and this is my intuition. I know I need this the next time, and then I try to follow it, but I'm interrupted by friends asking me for help, or some things, and that I can't do later, or something like this. And so I cut this off, and I won't need it for myself. And so it's a bit generally, but there are a lot of situations like this. And the situation I followed my intuition was the feeling that in the city and in the area I grew up, I didn't feel home. I felt I knew that I want to go, and I decided, or I felt that I want to move to the biggest lake in Germany. And I did this. Also, a lot of friends, I didn't understand this, and I reached for reasons or objective things that I can explain this, and I didn't have them, and they were quite angry, but I moved, and I'm so glad I did this, and so many positive things happened, and so many good people, and new situations, new jobs, and I'm really glad I did this.
Yeah, so that, I mean, the positive is quite a big, it's a big life change that you followed and you trusted, and you didn't also listen to people's fears and doubts and skepticism. You really were connected with your heart. And then the small stuff which you mentioned of, I know what I should be doing, I'm not doing it, then I mean, I think some of these small things we often we overlook, and we maybe don't recognize that there's that same dynamic happening, and the same lessons can be learned. So, and it's in the small stuff, the Kaizen, the 1%, that we can actually start to practice for the big stuff. You know, so when we also look for the small examples, I mean, an example I can give you this evening, it was funny. I've just spent the last 4 days doing an Ayurvedic facial massage course, learning how to give it. And today we had our final, it wasn't an exam, but like we got to do the whole flow, and we had people come in to be our bodies, and we got to practice on people. And there was a woman, she came in, she was the body of the other girl who was doing the course. But you know, we're sort of, 5 women in the room, so we were chatting about all kinds of stuff. And she noticed that I I do this quite a lot. She's like, oh, what's that? She called it some kind of cough. She said, oh, it began with a causticum cough or something. And I said, what's that? She said, well, it's to do with the thyroid. And she said, I'm a homeopath. I have some remedies. I can give you one. Do you want it now or later? And I said, let's do it later. It's okay. And so anyway, at the end of the day, I said, oh, you know, don't forget, can I get a remedy from you? She said, okay. And then she just opened this box of homeopathic remedies, and there were like 5 or 6 pages, and each page had 6 or 7 vials in, so there must have been about 40-50 vials. And she just said, you know, you've got sensitive hands, just trust. So I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. So I just ran my hands over these 5 or 6 pages of these little glass vials, went all the way through, and then, you know, I could feel my head getting involved. But what if I want one that was on the first page, and what do I do? And you know, like that mental energy and the self-doubt. I went, just leave it. So I went through, and I got to the end, and then I was like, actually, it's here, and it's this one. No expectation. She pulled out, she was like, well, look at that, that's causticum. Exactly the remedy that she said that I needed. And I just went to it through my intuition. But I remember doing a very similar exercise with a healer that Diana in our group, recommended I go and see, who lives near her, who she does a lot of work with. And she asked me to do exactly the same exercise. And I remember being so in my head and thinking, I have to get it right. And what if I get it wrong? And which one should I choose? And what's she going to think of me? And it was just awful. And I remember feeling completely blocked and bursting into tears, because I was scared I was going to get it wrong, and then I just couldn't move at all. And it was such a horrible experience, and such a different experience as well. So for me, you know, I mean, obviously I have the big one of coming to Dahab and trusting, and this is home, and okay, the rest of my life changes. And, you know, I have examples of, like we've all mentioned this, well, apart from Sophia, but, you know, getting into a relationship with the wrong person, not trusting our intuition, being driven by the need to be loved. And I think this is such an almost universal issue for women, that we don't trust ourselves. So therefore, when a man is behaving in a way which is not trustworthy, but then he says words which imply that we should trust him, we override the feeling of intuition and let him talk us into trust, because that's his agenda. And I think this is a massive, massive lesson for all women. So intuition is the voice of spirit. Spirit is always going to take you where you need to go, not where you want. This is where the ego gets involved. The want is, oh, and I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to be loved, and I'm going to be cherished and happy ever after. But your soul is saying, this is not where you need to be. And it's really doing its best to give you signals. But as women in particular, sorry guys if you're listening to this later, but women in particular, there's a whole dynamic within society which means that we almost constantly override our intuition, particularly in relationships. And women, I don't know how much I trust the numbers, but women have much stronger intuition than men. We are much more closely connected to that ability to hear the divine within ourselves. And what's happened is that scares men. And so, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, we were branded as the witches or the crazy ones. Or in the modern world, we are accused of being too demanding or too fickle or too princessy. And no, we're not. We're speaking our truth, and we have every right to speak our truth. As long as you're clear that this is your truth and it's coming from Satnam, from that pure place within you, you have every right to follow it, and you don't have to validate it. It just doesn't feel right. That's it. Sorry, I'm off. But I love you. Yeah, I love you too, but it still doesn't feel right. Yeah, whatever it is, doesn't even have to be relationships. But you know, in the Kundalini yoga, it said, you know, women need to trust their intuition because it's really our strongest strength. And then if you're in relationship, men need to trust you. And then we get things back into balance. Because as you all experienced at the beginning, yeah, when we connect, we have this ability to sense the energy, to really feel it as it becomes a tangible force. It's not just something that we're making up. It's not just something that we're imagining. It's not something woo-woo or weird or, oh, you and your witchy friends or whatever. It's real. Yeah, we need to follow our cycles. We need to follow our wisdom. We need to follow our intuition. We need to follow the truth that our body, our feelings are giving to us all the time. Yeah? So, does anyone have any last questions or things that they would like to share? Just conscious it's Sunday evening. And you're all going to go straight into your wind down routines, get ready for bed. Right?
I have to go back to the hospital, so I...
Oh, sweetie. Yeah, okay, well, I hope it's an easy shift. All right then. So in that case, thank you, thank you, thank you. Lovely to connect with you tonight on this level. Really beautiful. I really appreciate you all so much. And I appreciate your honesty and, you know, being here and showing up and being vulnerable to share, support and inspire each other. So I hope to see you Wednesday evening. Yeah, start the day right. If you're able to make it, and until then, I don't know if you've seen in the group, but next week I'm actually going to be in Belgium because I'm...
Sorry, how is Jan feel? Is he having pain or?
He's in a lot of pain, yeah, but he's got some good drugs. Yeah. Yeah, so he's got to have it operated on Thursday. He's had 3 opinions, so he's going to have that operation, and he's off work, and he's now going to leave the police, I think. But that's all for him to figure out, and yeah. I think to be honest, I think it's a good thing. He needed something to kick him out of that job because he's been so unhappy in it. So yeah, it's good. So, but yes, he's got to go through a difficult phase now on crutches, but he's seeing the positive. Yeah. So I'll be there taking Coco, and then coming back. Then I've got 2 weeks to pack my bags, and then I'm off. Okay. Have a lovely, lovely evening. I see you on Wednesday. All my love. Take care.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
See you.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.